So you're about to listen to chapter 24. And remember, it's always a good idea to listen to the chapter and read the chapter text. And if you're still confused about what's going on in the chapter, it never hurts to listen or read to it again. Good readers often do that. They have to reread things over and over again until they understand what's going on. The first word is mended, and it used to be more popular when we would fix things rather than throwing them out. Mended means to repair or to fix. Often it was used in terms of sewing, but it can mean mended or fix something in another way. Polished means to shine something, so oftentimes people will polish their jewelry. Threshold refers to the sill of a doorway. So it's that strip under a door, and usually people say brides would be carried over the threshold of their new homes by their husbands. The threshold, again, is referred to as that space when you walk into someone's home over that little lip that exists in your door. Today's chapter is being read by a former student of mine, Amr, who I taught in grade 6. The year I taught him, he had just arrived in Canada from Syria, and he's now attending university.
Chapter 24. And so Edward Tulane was mended, put together again, cleaned and polished, dressed in an elegant suit, and placed on a high shelf for display. From this shelf, Edward could see the whole shop, Lucius Clark's workbench, and the windows to the outside world, and the door that the customer used to enter and leave from this shelf. Edward saw Bryce open the door one day and stand in the threshold, the silver harmonica in his left and flashing brilliantly, and the sunlight flooding in through the windows. "Young sir," said Lucius, "I'm afraid that we made a deal." "Can't I see him?" asked Bryce. He wiped his hand across his nose, and the gesture filled Edward with a terrible feeling of love and loss. "I just want to look at him," Lucius Clark sighed. "You may look," he said. "You may look, and then you must go and not come back. I cannot have you in my shop every day mooning over what you have lost." "Yes, sir," said Bryce. Lucius sighed again. He got up from his workbench and went to Edward's shelf and picked him up, and held him so that Bryce could see him. "Hey, Jangles," said Bryce. "You look good. The last time I seen you, you looked terrible. Your head was busted in and he is put together again," said Lucius. "As I promised you he would be," Bryce nodded. He wiped his hand across his nose. "Can I hold him?" he asked. "No," said Lucius. Bryce nodded again. "Tell him goodbye," said Lucius Clark. "He is repaired. He has been saved now. Must tell him goodbye." "Goodbye," said Bryce. Don't go, thought Edward. "I won't be able to bear it if you go." "And now you must leave," said Lucius Clark. "Yes, sir," said Bryce. But he stood without moving, looking at Edward. "Go," said Lucius Clark. "Go." "Please," thought Edward, "don't." Bryce turned. He walked through the door of the doll mender's shop. The door closed, the bell tinkled, and Edward was alone.
I hope you've enjoyed the latest chapter in the Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane by Kate DiCamillo. Click on the links in the description of this video to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Y2K Teacher, HRCE, or to check out my website with more exciting resources. These chapters have been read to you by members of the Bedford, Nova Scotia community. These community members have been brought together through the Talk Bedford Facebook group.